Sometimes when you're making a map just to use for a day, you don't want to create a new data layer or a new shapefile or a new feature in your geodatabase. You just want to make some mark on the map to tell somebody, I want you to do this here. So to do that, you want to be using the drawing toolbar. To access that, if you don't have it already, that is under Customize, Toolbars, Draw. And there's a difference between drawing when you're in Layout View versus Data View. Data View, if you make a feature and then zoom in and out, you will zoom in and out, and that your text or your circle or whatever else will get bigger and smaller. It'll become a permanent part of this map. Whereas if you make an annotation in Layout View, then that text is going to stay the same size regardless of what happens on this map. So let's first make a annotation in Data View. And let's say that we want to circle a place where we need to do some work on this road. We need to send our engineers in here to figure out how we can make this turn better, because right now it's a sharp turn. Might be alright for an ATV, but we want to haul some wood through here, so we need to have a longer radius on this road. So we can just go ahead and select our circle tool from this drop down menu. Click in the center, hold, and release. And this defaults to a filled circle. We don't want that. Up here we have fill color. This is just like Microsoft Paint. No color. But now it's a very thin line. You can hardly see it. We want to have a red line. So now we have a nice red circle around this area where somebody needs to do some work. We consider the radius of this road. And if we zoom in and out, we zoom in and out on that new circle as well. Let's try to do the same thing in Layout View. So let's go ahead and zoom right in on our subject of our map here. See, we zoomed in on that circle as well, and it stayed right where it belongs here. Let's do this again. We create another circle, click in the middle and hold, and let's just make it a little bit smaller so we can see. Now let's say, well, we need to show this area on the map over here, so we can use our hand tool to drag that map. And we can see when this loads that the circle that we created in Layout View has moved relative to the circle on the map. So the circle that we created in Data View has moved with the map, whereas this has remained fixed on the page. So that's the key difference between making annotations in Layout View or Data View. Now we can right click on that and say delete, go away. So let's do some text now. So we can just go with default text. We also have an option to do splined text, polygon, rectangle, circle text. Let's just do plain text right now. So click here, and if we double click, we can say radius road. Send our engineers out to see what they can do about that reconstruction of that road. But if we click off and then double click, you can see this doesn't show up very well. Good way to fix that is go, once you've double clicked, change symbol, and then edit symbol, and that will allow you to go to the mask tab and say give this text a halo, which puts a little white halo around the text, which overrides anything that might otherwise interfere with that text. So now you can very clearly see radius road in that location. You can also change the symbol. It's counterintuitive here. You would think that you could change the font here. You can't. You have to go to change symbol, and then you can change the font to Times New Roman, or whatever you like. You can make it bold, you can make it bigger. Okay, and there we go. So now we have some instructions here, radius road. Let's try Spline Text, so use this drop down menu here, Spline Text. Click once to start, click again at the inflection point, and then double click to finish. type in new radius for road, and now we have some spline text, and that goes along that spline that we just created. Double click on that and you have the option to change the symbol again. Let's give that a halo as well. Edit symbol, mask, halo. I'll make that Times New Roman as well. Size 12, bold. So now you have some instructions for what to do when you get here. You have a circle on the map. What else can we do? Say this text here, we wanted to rotate that. First click to select it so you get this blue box around. Then you have rotate. So you can rotate that around its corner. Change how your label looks. Those are the very basics. Let's see what else we can do here. We can draw a line. And this is just like creating a line in a shapefile, only it's creating just an annotation on the map and not anything that would have data behind it. We can again change how that line looks. We can make it a yellow line. What else might you want to do here? You can do a curved line. So rather than going exactly where from one point to the next point, make a little neater looking line, even though it deflects from where the actual locations of the road are. Change that color again, make that white. If you decide you don't like something, you just click once, then delete, or right click, delete, right click, delete, right click, delete. So you can also put a marker here. So say you want to navigate to this point as your endpoint, there's a marker for that. You can change the color of the marker. Let's make that red. So this is what you would do if you just wanted to mark up a map for today, lay out where you're going to go. You might make some GPS points when you locate the culvert that is suspected to be there perhaps. And then you would have a GPS point that would have data behind it, and it would have an attribute table and a spreadsheet and all the information behind it. You could say this is a good culvert, a bad culvert, needs to be replaced. Let's do some more text here. Check culvert. So again, these are just annotations. You can write whatever you want on here and easily delete it, but let's just see all these annotations we've made in layout view. Let's pop back to data view, and now only the annotations that we made in data view remain visible, and if we pop back to layout view, they come back. But the issue is, if you were to move this map accidentally, then all your annotations stay right where they were in layout view. If you do this accidentally, the back arrow here, the big bold one, not this undo move element, go back to previous extent, we'll move the map back to where it was just before.